Shalom, Yashala. Brother Malak, back with a biblical lesson. This one is dubbed, "It's evident the Israelites are so-called black and brown." It's evident that the so-called Israelites are brown and black. And when I say that, I mean, well, that's exactly what I mean when I say that. The default archetype, the default archetype, the regular archetype that Yahweh has created upon Israel is dark brown to light brown, melanated individuals. Because no one is really black or brown or white or pink for that matter, or really red, because those are crayon colors. But the thing is, I guess we can only go with what we conceive things to look like or be. So we'll go with what, what it is. But in all actuality, you have just non-melanated and you have melanated. You have, people with no melanin, little to no melanin, and then you have people that's filled with a lot of melanin to mid melanin. So, but, we call it what we call it now, or even then, because even in these scrolls, you still will see words like red, black, and such forth. But just some more proof to pull out of the scrolls. It's evident that the Hebrew Israelites, the Israelites, are so-called black and brown individuals, black and brown people, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians. You Native Indians, Latinos, and Negroes. You make up the 12 tribes of Israel, whom or whose fathers, because when you read the scriptures, the seed line goes upon the father lineage. That's why we state this, and you can understand this and comprehend this within Numbers 1:18, if I'm not mistaken. Numbers 1:18. Let's see. Let's get some proof of that. Numbers 1:18. Because we always, this was our custom. We always, it's a patriarch culture. You are the blood of the seed line of your father. Don't get it twisted. You're cultivated, you're nursed and birthed by your mother, that good soil, but you're the seed of your father, according to the scriptures. Numbers 1:18. Let's get it. Or it could be Numbers 1:18. Yeah, Numbers 1:18. I'm all the way in chapter 18. Numbers 1:18. Salak, Yashala, Yahweh. So Numbers 1:18. All right, so Numbers 1:18, it says, I'll start at 17. It says, "And Moses and Aaron, these are the Levites." Moses was a Levite, Aaron was his brother. He was a Levite. So their father was a Levite, and their father was a Levite, their father was a Levite. And I'm kind of scrambling a little bit. Remember, the topic is what it is. It's evident that the Israelites are so-called black and brown, but I just want to make a point. It says, verse 17 of Numbers 118. Notice that the chapter is called Numbers. It says, and they assembled all of the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old up by their polls. And the Lord commanded Moses, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. And the children of Reuben, that's the first brother, Reuben, the tribe of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, that's the oldest. The tribe of Reuben is the oldest. We talk about Judah a lot. And even, we talk about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi a lot, but Reuben is the oldest. He's the eldest son, the eldest tribe, basically. It says, and the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers. So there you have it. That's truth. That's proof's sake. That's truth's sake, coming right out of the scrolls. Truth. And that's just what it is. You know, nowadays they tell you that, especially with the imposters, especially with these imposters, they tell you it's matriarch or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, that it's about the it's about your mother's side and lineage, but clearly the Bible states it's your father's. And that goes for our, that goes for the women too. The women, they are the seed of their fathers. Everybody is the seed of their father. You know, you're nurtured, you're cultivated, you're nursed and birthed by the soil, which is your mama, your mother. But you are the seed of your father, as the scroll states. Back to Song of Solomon. Chapter 1, it says, verse 5 specifically, proving that without a doubt that that our people, our ancestors, us, we, our people, our nation, that we are so-called melanated beings. We are we are the Israelites, and the Israelites are us. We are the Hebrews, we are the Israelites. And the Hebrews, the Israelites and Hebrews were in fact, without a doubt, so-called black and brown. Because, you got our brothers that come in dark chocolate brown to chocolate brown to dark chocolate brown to light brown to red brown to even a lighter brown. And now, since we have been in exile for these years and pushed into these captivities or whatnot, these lands, since we have been away from our original borders, and some of us, the 10 tribes, they went into they came to America. The 10 tribes came to America. So, this is why Christopher Columbus brought 3 or 4 Hebrew interpreters, because he knew the 10 tribes, the Hebraic tribes, the Israelites were here in America, or what we now call America. But just going back, it says Song of Solomon 1:5. It says, I am black. Peep that. I am black, but calmly. And what does calmly mean? Calmly means beautiful. I am black, but beautiful. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar. When you look up the tents of Kedar, they are black. Blacker than the night sky, or just as black as the night sky. It says, I am black but comely, O you daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am black. It says, because the sun hath looked upon me, and we know when the sun beams on us melanated beings, we get dark as the night sky. More proof's sake, truth's sake. It says, look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keepers of the vineyard, but my own vineyard have I not kept. And I think this was a young lady that was bringing that out. Okay, Song of Solomon 110. It says, Song of Solomon 110, it says, your cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, your neck with chains of gold. Who else rocks jewels in their mouths? Who else rocks chains and gold of diamonds and silver and gold upon their necks? There's only one people that do it big, that do it like that. And it's in our nature to do it like that, because we are royal people. It's in our blood. It's in our nature. We are the kings, queens, the princesses and princes and priests and prophets and warriors and royal people of God, of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. This is just more proof proving this. Song of Solomon. So this also proves what color Solomon was. And they know this. They know this, man. This, the Russian icons, the Voronet icons, all of this. It says, your cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, your neck with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. While the king sits at his table with spikenard sendeth forth the smell thereof. So all we also like to smell good. You see, you hear, can you conceive, can you believe? We like to look good and smell good, because last time I checked, we had to teach a certain people to wash their behinds and wash their bodies and brush their teeth and groom their hair, aka the Moors, which are Israelites from the southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, Israelites, Hebrews, more truth. So, we already know the people that the Israelites taught, which are the Moors, who they was teaching. The so-called Caucasian, man, woman, and child, the Edomites, according to prophecies and scriptures and prophecies. So, let's not lie. Let's not make up stories, telltales, lies. And that's basically what has been happening. Song of Solomon 5:11. It says, his head is as the most fine gold. His locks. Do you hear that? Locks. Who are the only people on earth who hair locks up? It locks up when it's in an afro state. It locks up when it's in a cornrow state. And it for sure locks up when it's in a dreadlock state. You know, locks, dreads. It says his head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven. And this is just precept upon precept, line upon line, showing you, filtering out that there's no way on Yahweh's beautiful green earth that his chosen people, us, could not be us. It's just what it is. Truth. It's the truth. Proof's sake. For proof's sake. For truth's sake. It's the truth. Revelations 1. (14 and 15), and I'm gonna end it with this because, you know, you have people that say, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Well, if it doesn't matter, why did they change it? And if it didn't matter, why do they, you know, why do they try to make everything whitewashed? So there you have it. I guess it does matter because image is important. Image is important. Image is everything, you know, in certain degrees. But reading on Revelations 1, what is it? Revelations 1. Wanted another scripture before that, but Revelations 1:11 is where I wanted to start. Revelations 1:11. Revelations 1:11. Yes, here's the point right here. This is the point. This is the scrolls. These are the scriptures. This is the Bible. This is all this stuff is here. It's in the scrolls. You have to, you know, have that Holy Spirit put upon you to go and filter it out, to learn it, to want to hear the truth, to want to learn the truth, to read these scrolls, to fish out, to filter out the truth, to precept upon precept, to line upon line. You know, that Ruach Kadash has to be upon you to want to get in the spirit and do this, you know. Excuse my background. He can wait a little bit, take him out in a minute. It says, but this word is going to come out, this truth, this knowledge. It says Revelations 1:11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what you see, write in a book. Picture that. So if the image didn't matter, if the color didn't matter, why did Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom John the Revelator was seeing, why did he not, or I should say, why did he do what Yahweh Shai said? Why did he write it in the book? Why did Yahweh Shai tell John to write what you see in the book? Right? If you're seeing something, you're seeing an image. The brain is conceiving something through the eyes. You're filtering out something with the brain through the eyes, an imagery. Butchered the word, but you know what I'm trying to say. Imagery. However you pronounce the word, I butchered it, but image. I am Alpha and Omega, Revelations 1:11. I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos. I probably butchering these ancient cities, but oh well. Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea, Lord, see, I probably butchered some of those cities, but oh well. It says, and I turned to see the voice that spoke. So John the Revelator is seeing this in the spiritual, really raw, not even spiritual, really. He's seeing them. It says, and I turned to see the voice that spoke with me. There you again, image. And I turned to see the voice that spoke with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. So I wanted to get Revelations 1 verse 11 and 13 out the way, so I can give you context. And so John the Revelator is seeing Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. It says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. How about that? Picture that. Oh, Yahweh, it's amazing. It's amazing how these scrolls, these scriptures, it's amazing how the spirit realm, the spirit world works. It's truly electrifying. You can't fight it. You can't fight the truth. For truth's sake. So not only, so Yahweh Shai Mashiach, he's clothed with a garment down to the foot. And when you go into Revelations 4 as well, it talks about the Ancient of Days, Abba, Yahweh, with a garment down to his foot, with the rainbow behind him, and the fires and the lightnings. So so we have intel that the beings in heavens, they wear these long garments. But Yahweh Shai, with his long garment down to his foot, he had a gold belt. It says, and girt about the paps with a gold girdle. He had a gold belt, a gold girdle, proven that can only be a so-called black man, brown man, whatever you want to say, melanated man, because that's just in our spirit to shine, to rock the gold, the silver, the diamonds, the stones, the emeralds, the rubies, etc. It's in our bloodline. It's in our nature. It's in our spirit to show up and to show out. To show up and to show out. It's in our spirit. These other nations, these heathens, the Gentiles, they like to call it, most of them, some of them call it, like ghetto in a way, or loud, or, flamboyant, but that's in our nature to show up and show out. And you see that all the way around, to sports, to inventions that all the Israelites, so-called Israelite slaves created. All the inventions that our people created, all the things that we created, and still not getting reparations for, still not getting money for, funds for, to our dressing. The whole world likes to dress like us. The whole world likes to talk like us. Nobody likes to be a nigga, but everybody likes to say the word nigga. You'll be shocked how many times these other nations and their children and their kids, and even to them, those that's hip will say the word nigga to amongst another. And that's just going back to when you do the research on the word nigga, it states black. It means black. But you have Edomites, Hamites, even though they kind of call themselves that because they're dark, they're black. But to the other nations, the Gentile nations, the Elamites, the Edomites, the Ishmaelites, they all be referring to each other as a term of endearment as nigga. So, everybody wants to be a nigga, but nobody wants to be a nigga. Everybody wants to be a nigga. Nobody wants to be a nigga, but they want to call each other niggas. because Israel is the salt of the earth. Judah, Yehoiada, Benjamin, Binyamin, Levi, Loya, Reuben, Ephraim, Issachar, Naphtali, Gad, Reuben. We are the salt of the earth. We are the Israelites. But, his head, no, I'm jumping, but he had a golden belt, man. Just sit on that. A golden belt. He had a long garment with a golden belt. Is Yahweh Shai Mashiach not fly? Are the Israelites not fly? Are we not like that? To this day we like that. We'll spend our last on even though it's ignorant. But we'll spend our last on a gold chain and some Cartier buffs and some diamonds and gold and silver and even to the Gucci's and Louis and all the luxury things. Even though those things have Edomite names attached to them, but it's just in our nature. And these nations know this. This is why they do what they do with it. As far as putting it in our in our attention spans or whatnot, because they know we will bite the bait because it's in us. We're a royal people. But here's the point. Revelations 1:14-15. His head and his hairs were white like wool. It's only one people on the earth that has woolly hair. It's only one people. As I stated in Song of Solomon, it's only one people on earth that has hair that locks up. It's only one people that has hair that locks up. It's only one people on earth that has hair that's wool. There's only one people on earth that has hair that locks up. I mean, if you can't filter through these scrolls, through these scriptures, if you can't filter through this and understand that the Israelites are the so-called Latinos, Native Indians, and blacks, because that's just what it is. And I'm more so dwelling on the southern kingdom. Our hair locks up. The Judah, Benjamin, Levi, blacks, Haitians, Jamaicans. Our hair tends to lock up. The northern kingdom, which is the Latinos and Native Indians, they have like straighter, coarse hair. But even to some of them have hair that curls up and locks up. But the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, Mexicans, the northern kingdom of Israel. They're more straighter kind of hair texture, but doesn't stop them from being Israel. Their fathers go back to the nation of Israel. It says Revelations 1:14-15. His hair was salak, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. It says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. His voice as the sound of many waters. Picture that, man. Just picture that. So he comes out with a gold belt, a long garment with the gold belt, hair woolly, and his feet unlike to fine brass, as if it burned in a furnace. We know what color brass is. It's already brown. And then if you stick brass inside a fire, it's going to get burned. It's going to get more. Anything that you throw inside a fire, it gets dark. It burns. It turns black. So not only is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom the world calls Jesus Christ, not only did he appear unto John with a gold belt around his waist and a girt about the paps with a gold girdle. Not only did he have a gold belt, looking fly, looking swift, looking like that one thing, looking like one of one, His head and his hairs were white like wool. He had a woolly hair. And his feet unlike unto fine brass. So if his feet was fine brass, then his hands had to be fine brass. Then his face had to be as to fine brass. It's logical. It says, in his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. And who more loud than us? You know, wherever Judah goes, wherever Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Issachar, Ephraim, Zebulun, wherever we go, you know, you're going to hear us and know us and see us. So picture that. It says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters, because it's in our nature. Natural, spiritual born rulers. And with that, I want to say, Kol Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. And this is why these, you know, these nations, specifically their men, they envy, really. It's really envy. Envy is really envy. Envy is really what it is. And I can understand it. But it's really envy. Because everyone knows, everybody knows. But, you know, the Israelites, the so-called Israelites, they are Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, black and brown, so-called black and brown people of the earth. I just gave you precept upon precept, line upon line. It's right here in the scrolls. And then I could have gotten to some more scrolls, you know, talking about the great one, the Ancient of Days, Abba, Yahweh, the Father, according to Revelations 4, you know, and Daniel 7. But, you know, that should be enough to suffice. Shalom, Yasha Allah. Shalom, Yahweh.